But we were talking about, the story that has come out about Ja Morant, and Ja is quoted as saying that he did throw a punch at this kid, this 17-year-old kid.
Mm-hmm.
So he told police that the kid apparently threw the ball at his head, Mike. So they're at his house. And I just want to put this in context because people are like, did Ja pull a gun on somebody? They're at his house. My guess is they're playing some kind of pickup game.
Right.
Okay.
And is the young man there because he's friends with Ja's younger siblings or something?
So he's 17 years old. Ja is reportedly hitting this young man in the head during a pickup game at his house. So that's what it was. And I'm just trying to put this in context for you guys because Mike was like, well, why is there a 17-year-old at Ja's house? Either way, who knows where he's who's friends, who, whatever.
Right.
So Morant and one of his boys hit the teen hard enough to send him to the ground, leaving a large knot on the side of his head after the teenager threw the ball at Ja. Okay? So detectives show up, police show up, and basically the young man who got hit and he's on the ground says Ja then went into the house after they punched him several times and came back out with a gun visible in his waistband of his pants. This is at his house. Morant I have no idea. Morant says he told the police that the young man was the aggressor in the incident and throwing the ball at his head and stepping towards him is what started it, and he did what he did in self-defense. How about doing what you do and saying, getting out of my house? I'm 23 years old. I'm Ja Morant. I'm about to be a mega star.
Yeah.
You don't need to be here. How about that? It's amazing what these guys, like the decision making. So then you go in the house and you come back out with a gun in your waistband?
Just tell the kid to get lost. And you got buddies with you. Tell them to help you. Tell him to get lost, and don't escalate it to a weapon situation. Which makes
I don't get it, Mike.
I just look, and by the way, see now let's do the preamble so we don't sound soft. Like, I get it. You come up from a certain whatever, and you got your boys and everything, but there's just common sense. He's young. When does common sense? What is the statute of limitations for common sense? When it's required to kick in. I don't know, man. As I said earlier, I've done a lot of dumb stuff. I've been arrested a couple of times. I'm not trying to sit there and be lily white on you, but I mean, you're going to be a billionaire, with your next big deal. And you're doing stuff that can derail your entire career, let alone this stuff where you got your boys who think it's clever to either, whether it's a laser pointer or what most people assume was a laser sight attached to a weapon, to be throwing that at somebody associated with the Pacers after you guys have a dust-up on the floor. I mean, it's like, come on. And then meanwhile, if you're Adam Silver, are you going to do something about this? Like maybe say, Ja, you're a big part of our brand and you're the reason people tune in, so now I'm going to have to sit you for a week. No, he won't do that because Adam Silver has no balls. And Adam Silver is, he's going to whistle past the graveyard. Carl and I were talking about this, the Charles Barkley comments with Stephen A. Smith the other day about the new contract and demands for load management. I still think the NBA, as great as it's been, and the numbers, if you don't get a handle on some of these issues, it can still come sideways on you.
Yeah.
I would love to see Silver.
I'm curious to see what he does.
Yeah, and look, I'm not. This is not about telling a guy how to dress, which was silly in the first place. You do your thing, and now fashion is a part of the NBA. We're talking about doing the right thing when you got a guy who's a big part of your brand doing something which is beyond asinine.
We'll see if the league does anything. That's a story that hit today. We were just talking about it, and we're like, this makes no sense, Ja.